Hallo miteinander, I'm Geshidi6, and this is Double Focus. Last time, we made a fishy friend and brought a refreshment to the strongest fairy, who has likely become a puddle of water by now. Sure, Kokoro, Aya wants to shoot pictures of your clown pants, definitely not what they're concealing. We never visited the Menreiki here after her boss fight. It's a thing I remember to do between videos. We finally enter the bullet pad area. The last of all zones is unique for a few reasons. First of all, it is devoid of all enemies, just empty, eerily lifeless rooms. This one serves as an item check. You can't proceed without Wakasagi Hime's help, which does make Aqua Pillar mandatory. It's also impossible to set down any portals here. The game just won't let you. This means bullet pad area must be played in a single session. There's no retreating or securing your progress at any point. Well, the background is starting to get some scary features. Maybe you caught a glimpse of monstrous imagery. It all resembles a beautiful Lovecraftian nightmare. I love it when games pull that. Here's a boss door, and behind it, the Book King awaits our challenge, and he, she, or it looks nothing like you'd expect. Maybe you can recall the intro cutscene. Aya made a kindergarten-level drawing of Reimu as a demon trying to conquer Gensoukyo, and she herself pretended to be the hero in opposition to this threat. Turns out, when corrupting the bullet pad, the Book King chose that stupid doodle as his avatar, and that birthed this abomination. The trophy list of the game calls this Fictional Reimu. You wouldn't want to compare it with actual Reimu. If she learned of it, heads would roll. Aya's suggested name was the absolutely atrocious creature turns everything it sees to dust. She still hasn't gotten any better at titling, has she? And so we ready ourselves for a boss fight to eclipse the ones before it. This lady's a big deal. Fictional Reimu has more hit points than all other bosses, and 4 attacks that are each to be taken very seriously. She can spit purple fire that will split and ricochet off walls. Next, she can swing her Gohai to create 3 ground-traveling energy waves. Also in her arsenal is a set of 3 purple lightning bolts, deadlier and longer lasting than the ones we know from Castle area. And finally, there's an energy beam. This is the most devastating, but also slowest move, and the one you can punish easiest with some hits afterwards. Fictional Reimu only has 4 fixed spots she can teleport to. 2 of them are in the corners of the arena. The other 2 are near the center, a little higher above ground. Like most of Double Focus's bosses, Fictional Reimu's position dictates what she can do. The beam and the Gohai swings are exclusive to the corner spots, but the rest unfortunately can happen at any time. Especially that blasted lightning can be a nasty surprise. You've always got to be ready to react to its audio cue, something I wasn't there and it almost cost us the fight. We haven't been doing well. It must be the lack of any warm-up to this episode's action. Hopefully, we'll get into the flow soon. It's a godsend if she uses the beam a lot. It's such a predictable attack. If you pay any attention at all, you won't get hit by it. The Gohai swing, on the other hand, is a much bigger danger. I remember that one time I chased Fictional Reimu overzealously and got struck by the Gohai itself while on the platform above her. This knocked me into the 3 resulting shockwaves, and I fell from all health to 0 health. The lesson from all this is, don't be too aggressive. Oh, and once you've dropped down to ground level, never stay there, always return to the center of the arena, as that is the much safer standby position. Just make sure you're on one of the higher platforms when the beam or the shockwaves come. When Fictional Reimu teleports to somewhere off-screen, she is most likely to use one of those two. We've been whittling her life bar down a lot. In that case, don't get carried away, use Perfect Shot at the end. Just like with all bosses, there's an additional Snap Archive entry for making a photo as the killing blow. And we did. She does not look killed though, does she? No, this is a multi-phased boss fight. Fictional Reimu is going to turn it up a notch, and our heroes don't look ready at all for a round 2. Nonetheless, our attacks on the Book King have been somewhat effective, because there are signs that the book world is becoming unstable. This alarming turn of events leads Aya to devise a daring and desperate strategy, which is to throw Momiji off a cliff. Great plan, right? Well, if there was ever a time to believe in the goofball reporter, trust me, it is now. All this brings us to a solo intermission for Momiji. In the cutscene, she has lost her sword, but strangely, we can still use any skills that involve it. It's not like you need to. Like I said, Bullet Pad area has no standard enemies. The whole segment boils down to making jumps and blocking falling rocks. As you might expect, we cannot switch characters. We will gain control of Aya when the game decides we are ready. Going solo does not affect the health system, your life is not cut to half, and Momiji won't die when it hits the center. Now this is an important room. I implore you, do not proceed left, climb up here first, as this is where Double Focus checks what ending you've qualified for. Depending on if the conditions are fulfilled, this cutscene will play out in one of two ways. In our case, we free the distressed fairy, otherwise Momiji would be repelled and has to leave the poor prisoner to her doom. If you skip the chamber entirely, the bad ending is automatically assumed. With that, Momiji's escape is nearing its end. Just another pit to sprint jump over, and some more boulders to block. You know, whenever you block something, a voice clip plays. One of the lines sounds a little Englishy. I think it's meant to say protecto. For a while I misheard it as potato. Yes, Momiji, defend yourself with the power of root vegetables. Very abruptly, we find Kozusu. She was not visible in the gameplay. And that concludes all of Momiji's duties. She and Kozusu will escape the book world through a portal, and we switch to someone in a far greater pickle. Fictional Reimu has gone full eldritch, as if her appearance before wasn't charming enough to actual Reimu. How much you wanna bet this is what she looks like before freshening up in the morning? Thus starts Phase 2, and I must warn you, I've never been good at this one. Most of her attacks consist of flinging purple energy orbs. Sometimes there will be a few large ones, other times many small ones, and on rare occasions there will only be a few shots that bounce around the room rapidly. There's also the eye laser. Oh boy, the eye laser. We'll see how you're supposed to avoid it in a minute. Contact damage is another huge problem for us. Second phase Fictional Reimu is quite voluminous. This is not just a danger when she leaps across the room to switch sides, but when you're squeezing between orbs and she's close, she might just decide to step on you. It's just very difficult to foresee how you're ideally supposed to move, and that makes it hard. So does the additional fact that we've dealt like 5% damage so far. Guess we're going to be here for another 20 minutes. And that's how you dodge the laser. You flap your wings. Suddenly I'm ashamed for making fun of that so much. Our stash of cure books was comically large. Now I'm wondering if it'll be enough. But wait, what is this? A cutscene has started in which Aya is all tough-talking. That's not really justified, is it? Could there have been a trick behind the boss's overblown health pool? Could this have been a scripted fight? Yes, just like Clark Kent unrolls his suit, Aya dons her traditional Tengu garments and becomes super. In this form, we have a powerful sword for semi-close combat and weaker wind blades for whenever Fictional Reimu is at an angle the sword won't reach. Apart from these mighty weapons, we also sport a ridiculously fast passive regeneration, making cure books obsolete. It is still possible to die naturally, but that requires some pretty subpar play. Fictional Reimu, however, also heals over time, so you do need a somewhat daring playstyle to win here. We did find a healthy balance between reckless offense and caution, allowing us to put Fictional Reimu to the ropes, ripe for a cinematic cutscene finish. I will leave the next sequence to the voice actresses.
ごめんください。って、あら？こすずったら留守かしら？神社から帰ってきてみれば、人の気配が全然しないし。やっぱりこれって、また神隠しの異変かしら？もしかして、こすず本人がこの異変の元凶だったり。まさかそんなわけがあるはず。
無事だったんですね。
まさか自分の書いた記事と戦う羽目になるとは。しかしこんな経験ができたのは僥倖です。帰って記事にまとめなければ。
こりないな。ちょっと私幻想郷の様子を確認してみますね。千里眼。どうやら取り込まれた人たちも幻想郷に戻ってきたみたいですよ。
万事が元に戻り、一件落着ってことですね。さあ帰りも。あれ？
どうしたんですか？
飛べなくなってません？
ほんとだ。本の中に能力を置いてきたままってことですか？
いやいや、そうみたいですね。まさか本の魔力がここまでだとは。
あれ？あなたはさっき助けた。
何ですか？この本。
空飛ぶ不思議な巫女ですって。
もしかしたら本が開きますよ、もみじ。
戻った。空を飛べますよ。
よし、これぞ完全決着ってやつです。帰りましょう。ほら、何してるんですか、妖精さん。一緒に行きますよ。あなたも重要参考人なんですから。
Our journey is over. That was the good ending to Touhou Double Focus. In case you're wondering for the bad ending, the fairy in yellow would not have given the magical book to us, forcing Aya and Momiji to return to Yokai Mountain on foot during the credits. This would have to make them forever flight lane Tengu outcasts. It's unfittingly grim if you think about it too hard. It is time for our ritual mini-review. AquaStyle has once again made a game with very strong soft factors. Animations are smooth, character designs are charming, and the dialogue is entertaining. Gameplay-wise, however, there are issues. Not all of them became apparent in the Let's Play. Rules for invincibility frames, for example, are all over the place. There's little rhyme or reason whether you have any or not, and it's frustrating when enemies juggle you around. So as this mixed bag, do I like it or not? I'll tell you right after the next cutscene.
それにしてもこの間のは疲れたな。
あなたもいい加減珍しい洋魔棒に食いつくのも大概にしときなさいよ。それにあの事件まだ詳しく全容聞かされてないんだからね。
それは私だって言いたいところだけど我慢してるのよ。
号外でーす。
たまには本じゃなくて新聞を読ませるのもいいかなって思ってね。
Overall, Double Focus has really grown on me. It took me until Super Aya to form an opinion, but then I knew it was all worth it. Not only that, but I thought this needs a Let's Play for its Hyper Beam against Mother Brain moment alone. Oh, and what a great one that is. With that, I'm Geshidi6, and this was Double Focus. See you next Let's Play. Bis bald!